Hi, I'm Molly Meulenbroek, and we're here at Studley Flower Gardens in downtown Rochester. I'm seated in our seasonal greenhouse getting ready for spring. Studley Flower Gardens was founded in 1928 by Joshua Studley, and we've been operating in the same location in downtown Rochester since that year. The business is currently owned by my brother-in-law and my husband and myself. We've owned and managed the business since 2008, and it's been in our family since 1971 when my in-laws purchased it from the original owner's widow. And I'm here today to talk to you about the Resiliency Academy. So we worked on some of the concepts of the Resiliency Academy since last year. One of the main ones that we've worked on has been the cybersecurity piece. So we did work with a company to establish a cybersecurity plan and some training for our staff, as well as it allowed us to complete our PCI compliance for credit card processing. And I've made some other starts at the plan to address mostly our physical building, because we are an old business since 1928. There are a lot of parts that are older and need a lot of maintenance. So part of the way I think of resilience for us is thinking about all of the physical plant of our company and maintaining what we have here in good working condition. We had not really thought of resiliency before the pandemic, although when we did take over the business in 2008, we were right in the start of the Great Recession. So we did have to think a lot differently about our business at that time, but the concept of resiliency is not something that we necessarily thought of concretely before the pandemic. But now I would say that it is part of, without putting that word to it, it probably would have been part of our business practices going forward from the pandemic, because we did have to adapt in so many ways. And I would say that thinking about resiliency now for us is more of a medium and long-term concept for us, and thinking through the next 10, 15, 20 years as we would consider what's next for our business as we get to hopefully our 100th anniversary in just 6 years. So we will continue to think about resiliency throughout the next decade or two. Before the pandemic, I was already rather connected in our community. I sit on the Historic District Commission for the City of Rochester as the chairperson. And I also had been active for many years in our Main Street program as a volunteer previously, and we participate in Main Street events. So I do feel that I had strong community connections and networks before the pandemic, which really helped us get through the pandemic. Without that network and the knowledge of who the people are that I needed to ask for help, it probably would have been that much harder. So it is a good reminder when you think about resiliency that your business network is really important to cultivate, and know who the experts are that you can call on when you need extra help. I have only minimally included the other owners in our resiliency planning, although with the cybersecurity, that is more staff members have taken on doing that training to make sure that we are cyber aware of our cybersecurity. But in terms of other planning, it's not something that we've broadened to more people in our organization. I would say ahead for us for resiliency planning in our business in the next year is to spend more time actually maybe working on that plan. So during the academy, I did start making notes for a plan, but have not solidified that. So I think it would be important now to think about continuing that plan and having a little bit more actually on paper. My advice for other small businesses considering a resiliency plan would be to definitely take the time to write it down. So this is my own advice to myself as well, because I have a lot of it in my head, and also in a business that's been here a long time, there's a lot of institutional knowledge that people have that we just operate and follow certain things year to year, season to season, but having those things written down is crucially important for continuity and consistency going forward. So I think a resiliency plan is really important for consistency and continuity in any business. And then I would just also say to any other business owner to get involved in your local city government, or at least take the time to learn what goes on in your local city government, because that's where I found the most resources and the most help throughout the pandemic, because I already had those connections. I was able to find who I needed to talk to. So taking the time to get involved in local city government will go a long way to helping your business and strengthening your network.